Hello and welcome to the Aftermath Podcast. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
It's me.
What a fun time. I feel rusty.
Yeah.
We haven't done this iteration.
It feels like it's been a while.
It's been at least over a week.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like 2 weeks. And I feel as though I feel rusty. I need to...
Brain's all mush now.
I just need to get back in the seat again.
Ain't no sentence structure working up here, bro.
No, definitely not. So...
Oh, man.
So
strong start. What did we watch?
Well, and that's what I'm trying to get at. You really threw me for a curveball.
Yeah.
I really, as I always do, I asked you, so what are we watching tonight? And you're always like, oh, it's nothing.
This was one of the many curved balls that I usually have in my repertoire.
Yeah.
It is within the ballpark, if you would.
Right. So as the Paramount logo is like coming into frame and the stars are floating across the water, I hear the faint characteristic of the of the Transformers thing.
Uh-huh.
And the first thing that went through my head was, I know for a fact that we on this podcast have watched the first three Bayformers, or what is it called?
Yeah,
Bayformers. The Transformers.
We did the first one.
Right.
And
we did the second one, I thought.
No, we skipped the second one. We didn't do a recording for that one.
Okay,
we
watched it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we did cover the third one.
Yes, Dark of the Moon.
Yeah. Dark on the Rock.
Dark on the Rock. Yes. So hearing that faint sound, I was like,
no.
From what you have told me,
the original trilogy for the Bayformers films,
right,
is, suffice it to say, like, comparatively speaking, as good as it gets.
Yes.
Because it only got worse.
It just trails off, apparently.
It was already bad, and then it just got worse.
Right. And so the first thing that went through my head was, oh shit, you're about to
he's really doing it.
You're about to hit me with the fourth one.
He put that piece of shit in the fucking PlayStation.
Right. And so I thought for a second, I was like, I thought you told me that the fourth Transformers films was awful. And before the movie starts, you went, it is.
It is.
And I was like, bruh, please. We can't come right back into this with just a real trash film. Yeah. And then I was pleasantly surprised that it was actually Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Now, I have never seen this film.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it kind of went underneath the radar.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Right.
Because I think at that point, whenever that film had came out, it was at that point in the franchise, I feel like, where, again,
everything was been like over with for a while.
It really felt like we're just really kicking this dead horse.
Oh man, another one?
Yeah. So I had never seen it, and I knew nothing of this film. So I was like, the second I saw that it came on, I was like, okay, all right. I'm down for this. Let's give it a shot.
Now, you want to know why I like this film so much?
Why is that?
Because it resembles a Transformers piece of media.
Yes. I was just going to say that.
You see all the recognizable designs.
Yeah.
They're actually recognizable.
Yeah,
look like how they're supposed to.
Right. They kind of return to form a little bit.
Yeah, just a nice little facelift.
The Autobots and the Decepticons themselves.
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah. They all kind of maintain their same color schemes as before. They have, a little more updated design, but still very reminiscent of the original. But even more so than that, it feels more lighthearted in areas.
Yeah.
Even from like the human perspective of like the film, not just like I wouldn't say that the Autobots or like the robot side is more kind of goofy and funny.
Oh, definitely.
But, yeah. It's more serious from their perspective.
Right.
But like I would say in like a classic Transformer fashion, like it is a bit lighthearted.
It plays into that Iron Giant archetype.
Yeah. And but I would say solely from John Cena's character. the brevity in this film, it like the comedic.
What do you mean? John Cena was in this movie?
Yes, he was. And buddy,
I didn't even see him.
I know you didn't. You said at one point in time, the first time he came on film, you were like, "Who is he talking to?" And I was like, "Stop it!
Were you hearing voices?
I can't have this. Not right out the bat.
It's so easy.
It's so
You
easy.
can make that joke about him for anything.
It was the low hanging fruit. And I was like, I can't. But needless to say,
he somehow plays the straight man in this.
But not only that, like a little bit of the comedic relief,
right.
But not in like a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say probably the best way that you could do it. There's probably a better way you could.
Mm-hmm.
But man, at first I was nervous that his character was too much.
Yeah, it definitely toes the line there for a minute.
Yeah, he plays this serious character, and it feels. Again, this movie takes place supposedly like the setting of the film
early
is
80s.
Was 87?
87.
1987.
Late 80s. Excuse me.
And his character comes out the gate feeling like an 80s action hero.
Right.
Like a little stiff and like kind of like one-liney, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But man,
there was still like the intro sequence during that combat exercise where he just keeps shooting one of his teammates.
He's like, oh man, it's a weapon failure.
It's got a hair trigger. This thing's defective.
Yeah. It just keeps blasting that guy with his paintball.
Right. But other than that, yeah, it's right on the mark.
Yeah. And it's just it's an interesting film. Mm-hmm. So you had actually seen this before though, right?
Yes.
Okay. I had never seen it. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I didn't have any expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought for sure, I was like, oh, this is not going to be a top-notch film.
Right.
But like right out the gate with like the destruction of Cybertron. Yes. The destruction of Cybertron and just the fight sequences, sound design. I mean, like the whole thing.
The warriors.
I mean, and it feels, it packs a punch.
Mm-hmm.
The whole, it feels like how the original Transformers films does.
Yeah.
But it holds true to that kind of, again, the aesthetic and the look of the classic Transformer films. And I feel like
it's beautiful.
Pays homage to that original.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's very good.
What I've always wanted.
Right.
Let's talk about some of the faces we saw real quick.
Well, who you mean?
I'm talking about everybody.
Okay.
Like right out the gate, like you were saying on Cybertron, we see like.
Well, yeah, we obviously see
most of the well-known characters.
Right. I couldn't pick them all out. I know for a fact you see the big faces. Obviously, Bumblebee.
Oh yeah.
Optimus Prime. I know that there was Soundwave.
Yes, Soundwave and Shockwave.
And Shockwave.
Both of the waves, bro. Yeah, my favorites.
And they both looked really nice.
They're perfect.
I was especially surprised by Shockwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like his original character design, but like really,
like all of the other ones, you could tell like were just redesigns, still keeping that same look of the originals. But Shockwave just looked the same,
right? I mean, he still kind of had a facelift. He still looked nice,
course.
But like it was very recognizable. Because again, a lot of the in the original Transformer films, some of the Decepticons they
did not resemble their designs at all.
They're all kind of they're all like this
they've got the
amalgamation
same,
of like silver metal.
Yeah, jagged like scrap metal look to them. You would only know who they are if somebody said their name.
And there was at one point in time when we were watching the first three that I believe we saw Shockwave or Soundwave or one of them.
Yeah.
And I think he got killed in a fight sequence. And I was like, who was that? And you were like, oh, that was such and such.
Yeah.
Either one, Shockwave or Soundwave. And I was like, really? I was like, not only did he die, but like I couldn't even recognize who it was.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's like
random jobber number 5.
Right.
Shameful.
Yeah. So anyways.
Everybody looks great.
Looks great. I mean, and again with this, the special effects on this film is spectacular. Explosions, gorgeous. All the paint jobs, all the weathering on everything. It just feels real.
I could watch a whole movie structured like and looking like that intro sequence for Cybertron.
Yeah, definitely.
I wish that was what it was, but I'm still happy with what we got.
The first act of the film, Bumblebee gets sent careening down to Earth, and of course John Cena and our military crew run into him, and he is like
think about what you said.
I know what I said. I said it on purpose. Those words came out of my mouth just the way they were intended. John Cena and 20 unbeknownst to us military men, no other names spoken, are all trying their best to stop Bumblebee, who
crashed in smack dab in the middle of the training grounds.
Right.
So of course they mobilize and just start trying to take him out.
Oh yeah, I mean, as any good squad of military troops would do.
Right.
Live firing on this bitch.
Destroy the thing immediately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in their defense, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't. If I put myself in their shoes, I don't think I would probably act much different.
They don't know what's going on.
This thing just literally, in the best way possible, careened down from space.
Yeah. To be fair, they play it pretty cool given the circumstances.
He thought they got napalmed, and he was like, "What the frick are you hitting your own guys with napalm?"
I don't remember this being part of the exercise.
Right. And he's like, "We're not.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing else." And he's like, "Well, it's time to go find what this is then."
Yeah. So they follow this yellow gargantuan to the entrance of an old strip mine.
Yeah.
And he's able to stop him there after hitting him with one of the Humvees.
And this is another prime example I'm talking about of the sound design.
Oh yeah. And everything feels super weighty.
Everything feels like it weighs a ton. And not only that, I mean, they shot it in such a way that it felt like you were in that moment.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to get into the mine, stop him, and of course the next shot you see Bumblebee running towards the mine, and then of course dodging through vehicles, and then before you know it, in the heat of the battle, he gets
fucking T-boned.
He gets sideswiped, bam, and it you just hear the crash in the glass, and you see his body tumble over and fall down, and you're like, oof! And you're like,
yeah,
damn, that hit hard, and I felt it.
Yeah.
I think it's also perks to kind of the sound system we have too, and
of course.
So all of the sound effects just felt, it had that boom to it. Very
Primo
good
stuff.
The only thing I can say that that was a through line throughout the film that I didn't like was that I felt like the dialogue audio was significantly lower than the combat sequence audio.
Yeah.
And so I felt like what was an appropriate level for the combat sequence, because it's kind of later at night. We won't tell you what time it is, but
of course not.
But whenever it got to dialogue sections, I was like, I feel like it needed to be mixed a little better.
Yeah.
It was a little quiet in points, and I was like, I feel like I want to turn it up, but I know if we do, the second we hit a combat sequence, it's going to go
and it's explodes. It's going to sound like an actual explosion.
Exactly, which is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're in if it was a respectable time of the day to watch this film.
If only. We got to start doing that.
You're right, but it most certainly is not, and Mallory would have said something if we listened to it at the audio level that I would have wanted to listen to it at. But who was I think it was the blue guy. Did you know what is his? Did we get it? Dropkick. I believe it was Dropkick. I could be wrong, but it's the first time that we hear his voice. No. It's whenever it's the guy.
You talking about the first Decepticon?
The first Decepticon we see. Blitzwing. Yeah. He comes down there, and the first time he talks to him.
Oh my god! Wait! Before that.
Okay.
As soon as this motherfucker shows up, B is in the process of talking them down, hey, I don't know what's going on. I'm not trying to hurt anybody.
Right.
And they hold their fire. They're keeping it cool.
Right.
But then this jet. This jet shows up. And John Cena looks up who called in the Air Force? And he's like, no, that's not
the Air Force.
No.
Crazy.
So he immediately opens fire on everybody being included.
Right. Blitzwing does.
Yes. And he makes a pass around, and this this part of the movie is my fucking favorite.
Oh,
Like the whole film, that midair transformation sequence, dude, with the sound.
Yeah, he just comes in full force and transforms, and just me when I get you kind of
arm
moment.
Outstretched, just straight up grabs B by the head, pins him against the wall.
Crazy.
Did you think you could hide?
Right.
I fucking love that shit.
Yes. And the cool thing is whatever vocal effect they have on Blitzwing's voice or however they do it, again, with the sound system we have in the living room, it hits that just right, like low frequency, so the subwoofer really kicks in, and he starts talking in that kind of robotic, like deep voice, and man, it sounds so good and intimidating too, because it's like it feels. At that point, we already heard Bumblebee talk a little bit. Right. I mean, obviously, he sounds like a robot, but he's not.
He's young. He's got a softer voice.
Not nearly as
Blitzwing is one of the Seekers. He's straight up just a death machine.
Right. So it's a cool like the right off the bat, we're like, okay, we've seen the origin, we've established our character, and we've got like him on Earth, and like there's some human characters involved too, and then we got this awesome fight sequence right out the gate. So I mean, like,
very well choreographed.
Yes, we're not even 30 minutes in. I'm like, okay, I know what we're doing.
Sold.
I know what we're doing here.
This is what I fucking signed up for.
Yeah, it's really cool. He ends up getting his ass kicked pretty bad, and he gets his vocal. This is where we learn that he got his vocal processor. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
He got his voice box basically yoinked out like early on and arriving at Earth. And it's kind of upsetting, and he obviously gets trashed pretty hard and left for dead.
Not before shoving a missile into Blitzwing and then blowing him to pieces.
Yeah. Damn, dude. It's just so cool. The fight sequences are so cool in this. As he like drags himself to a pond or lake or whatever.
Yeah.
He looks over in the distance as he's like losing vision, and he just sees a yellow Volkswagen Beetle and is like,
I must scan you.
And though I slumber. And then he just falls.
I will awaken anew.
Exactly. And then of course some time passes, and then we are awoken by an alarm clock.
Enter
our protagonist. Teen girl, angst.
Right.
Embodied.
Standard.
Yeah.
Bog, if you would.
I was a little concerned about her character. Just because like the context of it all. But I really liked her character.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
She's like this kind of she kind of has this like rocker chick vibe. Leather jacket, kind of, bangs.
Right.
Some eyeliner.
A beatnik.
Yeah, kind of a like someone that will wear some chains and, kind of like an 80s punk or whatever. So and we learn like to kind of summarize her character, which I think the film does a great job like progressing through her character arc.
Yeah.
She basically has lost her father to a heart attack, and he was like a mechanic. And they used to
work on a Corvette.
Yeah, a really nice like 60s Corvette. And so obviously, and her mother has now remarried. And I don't think it was ever discussed if the brother is her biological brother or is it her half brother.
I don't know.
Okay,
they don't say.
She has a brother, and she kind of has this like chip on her shoulder towards him, almost like he's like a stepbrother or like a half brother. I'd imagine it's probably
standard brother. I would say.
If I was to guess, it's probably some sort of stepbrother moment, or maybe not. Who knows? Again, standard like 80s movie,
right?
Younger brother kind of character. You're just like, nah,
little bastard.
What is his name? Otis.
Yeah,
freaking Otis. Get the hell out of here.
Got a bit of a shitty home life.
Yeah. Oh, because again, her mom is, it's also said in the film, her mom is like trying her best to like move on and like kind of keep looking forward.
Yeah.
And the daughter's not ready to move on yet. So it still feels very recent. And that is a big point of contingency in the film that comes across later. But she's trying to get this old Corvette working, and it just won't work.
Yeah.
Nothing she does will make it work. And she has like this local like part shop.
Visiting her Uncle Hank.
Right. Has this local part shop she goes to. And then, of course, eventually she finds this old
beat up Beetle.
One thing I'm thinking about as I'm looking back on this, they they don't linger on the things that don't matter too much in this film.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. I was like, we get to see the uncle and this like part shop a couple times, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We get to see like her original crush and the kind of bully, but only a couple times. Only a couple times, and it's gone.
Yeah.
We get to see there was something else. Oh, her job. Like the kind of the hot dog on a stick she works at. It's only a couple times and it's gone. So it's like they do a lot to really flush out her life and the world around her.
Needless to say, I'm very glad they don't focus on that shit.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like the point that I'm making here is that they show those things just enough to help make the world feel real, make her feel like she's a part of the world.
You get a decent idea of what her day-to-day
kind of seeing the kind of situation that she's in, but never lingering on that for too long and focusing on kind of the main plot.
Myself, dude, that shit fucking sucks.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so what I'm saying is that I'm giving kudos in this regard, because again, a lot of times some films will spend like a large portion of the...
Isn't that awful? That's something we have to give kudos to.
We don't...
Way to not be shit.
Yeah, there's obviously other movies that do it too. I can't think of any right now. But what I'm saying is like there are a number of times in films kind of in the same caliber where they'll spend a large swath at the beginning of the movie.
I've got a couple of examples.
Oh?
Most of the Bayformers films.
You don't say.
Jesus.
They just spend a lot of time in like the first act, like really just trying to flush out the world a little bit, or kind of the character's upbringing, and again kind of grounding them in the world, and then they get to the adventure, as well as trying to also like establish what the adventure is, how it starts or whatever. To each their own. Their movies have to find their way to tell the story, which I think is why I've said in the past why I like the sequels to certain films more than I think I should, especially if the sequel's done well, because I think it gets rid of a lot of that fluff. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think this movie did an appropriate amount of that, where like again, the beginning part is obviously like the core reason why we're doing this.
I think it established everything fairly well.
And then it established what was her name? I forgot her name. Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie.
Her name was Charlie. And then as the movie progressed, it established Charlie in the world. So like we kind of see her. We see a little bit about her backstory. She has this kind of like love for her father. She's trying to get this this Corvette fixed. It's like the way we're getting pieces, and then as the movie progresses, we're like, oh, she has like a bully and a crush, and then she has a job that she hates. And it's like, okay, we're getting the full story here. But at no point in time was it just like, oh gosh, when will this scene be over? Yeah. There's a couple. One thing I will say, there's a few moments in this movie where I feel like the logic is a little weird.
Oh yeah,
just a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
A movie about giant sentient robot beings.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like on the human level,
right?
Like the fact,
of course,
like the fact that like the dog.
You kidding me?
She gets the Beetle, gets it home, and like kind of starts to work on it, realizes that it's Bumblebee, like establishes kind of a friendship with it. The next morning, she's excited. She's coming out of bed all chipper, which is kind of a first for her. She usually will like begrudgingly hit her alarm clock.
This is after her birthday.
Yeah.
Where her mom got her this floral ass helmet to wear on her motorized
this
bike.
May not be the law, but this is our law now. And I was like, bro, what?
And her fucking stepdad got her a...
What is it? It was like Smile More?
Fucking self-help book about how to just be in a better mood and like smile more often.
Yeah.
It'll change your life.
Yeah, make you more approachable.
And I'll be like, there's nothing more cutting than receiving a gift about like self-help.
Yeah, bettering yourself because you're not good enough.
It's like, what the fuck am I supposed to glean from this other than the fact that you think I'm a piece of shit?
Well, so that day happens. Obviously, she gets the car. It runs. She's made a companion now out of this robot in some way. Kind of a fun little bonding moment. And then
Covenant joy.
Dude, she opens the garage, the car's gone. She's like, oh shit, the sentient robot has now
just left,
gone awry. That's not good. Which again, anybody in that moment would be like, well, why now what?
Yeah. How am I supposed to find it?
She goes back inside and is like, where's my car? And of course the brother's like, oh, I know, it's in the garage. He's like, no, not that car, you idiot. The other one, the one that I just got.
Right.
It's gone now. And of course the stepdad's like, oh, the dog got sick and your mom just took it. And I was like, wait, what? She just took my car. The car, like my new car.
Right.
It's that kind of stuff where like this could be like 80s logic, I'm not sure, but this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about where it's like, why did you what do you think you could just take my car? You just took my car. Anyway, so it's things like that as well. And again, she's like riding on her little motorized bicycle to like catch up to the mom. And like, again, for me, I just feel like the most common reaction in that moment would be like, why'd you take my car, Mom? And her
excuse me.
Yeah, her response is to like try and swindle her mom into like taking the car with her. And she was like, why didn't you tell me like that the dog was sick? How could you take this without me?
I care so much about the dog.
Right,
exactly. Totally not my car.
And the thing is, like,
that you took for no reason.
24 hours later, or even 48 hours later, she was like, I hate this dog. It's not my dog. It's your son's dog. It's like that kind of stuff where it's like, you're really doing a good job of trying to gaslight the hell out of your mom right now. So it's like kind of, it's not bad. It's just kind of funny writing. I think it's meant to kind of be a little weird and quirky.
Just some random bullshit excuse.
Exactly. And
that's just vague enough to work.
There's a few more things. Like, I mean, even like later in the film, whenever she, her and her friend Memo. Oh man, I kind of like Memo. I at first I felt bad.
He comes off as kind of like a weirdo.
He comes across a little quirky, and I'm like, hey, that's fine. I mean, I was a little weird, when I was probably around 18 years old.
I'm sure you weren't like standing outside of your crush's house at night, hyping yourself up to just barge in and confess.
Yeah, no, I can't say I did that.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. But I definitely did some weird things though.
Of course.
Especially for a crush. But he's a little quirky, and he's just trying his best to just introduce himself to her. He does it like twice in the film.
Yeah.
And poor guy always tries at the worst time, again, comedically in the film, because obviously they're trying to do... She's in the middle of doing something else.
Right. Talking to her new giant robot friend.
Yeah, right. Or trying to hide him. Anyways, so they end up like... He ends up, as Dylan just said, kind of busting in later that night.
Yeah.
Accidentally finding out he's a giant robot, and then of course he transforms, tries to remain in cover.
Right.
And then there's a whole sequence.
She threatens to run him over.
Yeah, not in a mean way though.
No, of course not.
It was like, excuse me.
Just please understand, this is a
secret.
I need you to keep it very secret.
And he's like,
if you don't, I'll kill you.
Oh, okay. And then at this point, again, this is one of those weird sequences where it's like, okay, Bumblebee, and I was like, no. This
like, what do you mean?
Just
get him out of there.
And then, at this point, you're like, he already has agreed to not say anything.
Right.
At that point, I would say, okay,
all right, cool.
Now
nothing happened. Now leave.
It is nice to meet you, Memo. Now it is time for you to leave.
I probably won't see you around.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You won't see you again, and this is what I said to Dylan as the movie was going on.
Either I don't see you, or no one will see you.
Right.
Do you understand me?
I said this during the movie to Dylan. I was like, she did a pretty good job trying to gaslight the hell out of her mom, but in this moment right now, she couldn't come up with like a few ways of saying like, I want you to know that you won't say anything about the robot car you just saw, because guess what? You didn't see a robot car.
Yeah.
That is just a Volkswagen Beetle. And when he's like, no, I didn't want to hear anything.
No.
All you saw was that yellow
outside,
Volkswagen Beetle.
Lay down on the pavement.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to turn you into a stain.
Yeah. Not in a mean way, though.
No.
But you only saw that car there, right? Right. Good.
Of course.
Now be gone, Memo. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if we're gonna gaslight somebody, let's just go ahead and gaslight the guy you just met tonight, who busted into your garage unannounced.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Already on the edge.
I'm just saying, of all the people that need to be manipulated, he's the one, not your mom. That's like,
why draw the line at family? Let's just lump strangers in the mix.
Let's just go ahead and manipulate everyone.
No one is safe.
No one is safe from her gaslighting. anyway, so it's like it's little quirky things like that in the movie that, again, obviously for like the narrative purpose of the movie, it makes sense and it's understandable. Like that moment where he shows himself is going to progress the story and kind of have him be the little companions section, and that's understandable.
It always helps if you just think of it like a Godzilla film.
And that's what I'm saying, is that I feel when I said at the beginning that it feels like a traditional Transformer thing, it's that kind of like suspension of disbelief, the kind of fun element of that, like the classic
it's like,
Transformers
I'm watching Transformers right now.
Bro, like all the hilarious dialogue of Starscream.
Yes, dude.
Just the wacky.
You're either lying or you're stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
It's that kind of stuff where it's the wacky ass shit that is in there that I feel like this movie embodies in the human element.
Yeah.
Whereas like the robots.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the robots feel like the more serious side of this movie, whereas the humans feel kind of more like, what do I do? And you're like, what do you...
The hapless nincompoops.
Right. You're like...
Stuck, sandwiched between these two warring factions.
Yeah, so it's that kind of stuff where I think it's so funny that like there's a lot of moments like that where they end up taking a cruise like out at night.
Yeah. God, dude, I cannot wait for this fucking Beast Wars movie.
Oh my God!
Did you forget about that?
I didn't forget about it, but I one thing I didn't think about was that the production company that made this, it's distributed by Paramount, but the production company itself, I think, is called Allspark Pictures, which is not in the other films. I could be wrong. Sorry, I'm looking at my computer trying to figure out if I'm correct or not.
It's fine.
And I think that same production company is continuing because of the fact that obviously this movie did so well,
right? I
think, or has done fairly well. Actually.
We get another one, which I'm very confused about because I was hoping they would just kind of like stay the course with just like all the OG like Gen 1 stuff.
Yeah.
And then we just got Optimus Primal in there now.
I mean, it could be
fun.
am
not complaining. This is this is something I've been hoping that they would do, but never really believed that they would. So.
Wow, dude.
What?
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paramount Pictures is the distributor, and I think some of the production element of it. But Allspark Pictures is it is actually formerly known as Hasbro Films, or Hasbro Film Group was a film production within Allspark, a subsidiary of Hasbro tasked with developing films for the Hasbro properties.
How about that?
And it looks like they were founded initially whenever the first Transformer movie came out. Okay. And I think that they're just taking a turn.
Oh, okay.
They also produced things like Battleship and Candyland.
Oh my God.
Magic the Gathering and all that kind of stuff. So they've produced a couple of movies.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they changed their name in 2019 directly after this this film Bumblebee came out. The thing that I'm saying is...
Well, that's cool. I'm glad they're really taking a shining to
the thing that surprised me is that hold on a second. I'm deviating a little bit because I'm just I'm interested.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. This is gonna be interesting, I promise.
Okay. I'll hold you to that. If it's not, I'll kill you right here and now.
Oh, please no, don't do that. I'm trying to find the budgets for the first film.
Let's get some production value.
That's what I'm trying to say. Well, because
see how much all those pretty lights cost.
The reason I'm doing that is because I just saw Bumblebee's original budget, and I'm curious as to what it was in comparison to the original.
Oh, like the first Bayformers film?
The first Bayformers film. And it is less than. Okay, so
Damn,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
holy
So this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I want to say that the later iterations of it, the budget gets exponential, but for time, and of course, I don't have it pulled up right now, and I'm not going to bore you with me just sitting here typing forever.
Yeah.
The original Transformers film had a budget of between $150 and $200 million. And that one, obviously, I'm pretty sure was the most successful one that they've had, was the first one. And it had a box office of $700 million, which is very good in film terms.
Them's is good returns.
Yes. Bumblebee, on the other hand, had a budget of $100 to $130 million, is what it says.
Okay.
So significantly less, almost half.
Yeah.
And the box office was $468 million. So not nearly as much as the original, but again, still profitable.
Oh, yeah.
Enough to where we're able to get Beast Wars.
Good.
Which is good.
Beast Wars. Dude, I can't wait.
That's what I was saying. I was surprised to see that the budget was, because I thought the budget was going to be astronomical.
Yeah.
Like any of the Marvel films or any of the later iterations of the Transformer films that are like upwards of like, $200-300 million.
Nah, son.
But
This was a last ditch effort.
102 to 135 is what it says. So coming in, even at its max, let's say it was $135 million, even at its max was still at least $20-something million cheaper than the original Transformers.
Yeah.
And still very profitable.
That's
by
crazy.
about 4 times, which is crazy.
What a stroke of luck.
Oh, right.
It's almost like they should have
Stay true to form, yeah.
Yeah, if only most other media franchises would do that.
Right. So anyways, the thing that I was saying, like to bring this back around to what I was talking about, is that as opposed to like in the original Transformers film, where the humans feel kind of like more of the grounding, serious feel, and the Transformers
almost reduced to side characters.
The Autobots kind of have a more wacky, like you're saying, side character-esque thing. This film kind of takes a different turn in a fun way.
Yeah.
Even though the film logic is a little bit weird and the decision-making skills feel a bit
impaired.
It feels like a quirky 80s movie in some little way. The Autobots feel like the stability, which is funny in its own way, because it's like that is the serious part of the movie is like the death of their
having to do with
the
Cybertronians is treated completely like, I'm talking straight-laced as all get out.
The destruction of their homeworld, the potential destruction of Earth, the fact that like what was the blue car's name? The Dropkick literally in this film melt like
kills,
disintegrates two people, and like in a
straight up goopified
in a spectacular show of like, oh God, like I mean just like points a gun and goes whoop, and they just melt into clear goo.
Like he doesn't even fire a shot, he just like warms up the gun,
and they just
vaporizes
and it's like, oh God, like that's the level, that's the tone we're talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas the other tone is like when they pull up to this like car meet or whatever, or this like kind of meetup hangout on the cliff of this of like I guess San Francisco's where they're at.
Goofy teen antics.
Oh yeah, they're all over here, and of
with
course
the backdrop of an intergalactic war.
They put the car in park, and like Crush Bro guy is like already taking his shirt, is like taking his shirt off and his pants off. Is in front of this crowd of people, and he's like,
I'm gonna jump off this cliff. Who wants to come with me?
Jump with me. Yeah. And then of course like
nobody does anything. Of course,
because who wants to do that?
Right.
You're taking off your clothes.
You're crazy, bro.
We didn't ask for any of this.
I'm here for the drinks.
We're all just sitting here having a good time, and you're over here taking your clothes off, threatening to jump off a cliff face.
Right.
Who invited you?
Himself.
Yeah, exactly. You're putting this on yourself.
Ugh.
If you want to be the center of attention, that's fine. Just put your clothes back on, please.
Yeah.
Everyone, our two characters, Memo and Charlie, get out the car, and of course,
for some reason,
in a quirky like display. which I think is also kind of funny. You know, this guy's like, who wants to jump off with me? And then, of course, you know, Bumblebee, having watched a little bit of her backstory, knowing she's a diver.
A high dive expert.
Right, you know, exactly. He, you know, has a little fun, like, kick, you know, like, pushes her forward and is like, yeah, she can do it.
Stan Bush on the radio.
Right. And it's
motherfucker's playing The Touch.
Yeah, you got the touch. You got this. And it's like, nope, I didn't sign up for that.
No, you see, my dead dad is holding me back.
No, not even that.
No, that's straight up.
It is, but at the same time, like, again, nobody signed up for this.
Right.
This guy over here walks up next to her and is like,
this is a purely peer pressure teen situation.
Didn't you used to do the high jump with my sister? And she's like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. And he's like,
it's like, whoa, everybody, we got a championship diver.
No, I'm actually not really comfortable doing that. And he's like,
you're going to dive with me.
No, not that. He's like, not only that, you don't got to go first. And then just turns around and goes like, and I mean, like, has these like, didn't even say that. Didn't even. He just goes like, don't worry, you don't have to go first. Like, and then just like turns around and like, I mean, just the most intense face I've ever seen. Just goes and just starts like booking it off the side, and everyone has to clear because like, oh shit, he's gonna jump. Right. And then of course he just goes head first over the cliff. And I was like, bro, what?
Well, I guess he's dead now.
And then of course, and this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. This is the logic I'm talking about here. Is you decided to do that. You made this great grandiose display of jumping off this cliff face, and of course he's jumping. I was like, "Don't leave me hanging," and I'm sitting here, and the only question I have, the most logical question is, "Now how are you gonna get back up, bro? You're way down there. Who knows where the nearest like?
There's a shoreline under there. We saw.
Your car's probably up there."
Yeah.
You think some schmuck's gonna come drive down and get you? You're gonna just climb the cliff face? Who knows? Anyways,
he's just that's the kind of stupid teenager.
You're right, and that's what I'm saying. And that's the funny part is I'm sitting here and I'm being too logical, and I'm not actually upset. I just think it's funny.
I am. I hate children.
I'm just sitting here and I'm asking these funny, hilarious questions as to like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
Who are you? And it's like, that's not the point. She gets up to the edge and kind of like has a deep breath and is like, I can't do it. I'm not comfortable doing that. He goes to walk back to her car and I'm like, some
good
clarity.
Job.
And then
there will be no peer pressuring here.
Oh gosh. And then of course there
will, however, be bishy ass teenage girls that I would love to hurt.
Oh yeah, and I'm glad this is the last time we see her. We've seen her already, and she kind of is like, she's like a little sassy, like any like 80s,
mean girls type bitch,
80s bully. Is she comes up?
I think her name's Tina.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah,
I hate her already.
Awful.
She comes up and is like, what was that back there?
What happened?
You lost your chance to be cool, and I was like,
big moment.
Who gives a shit?
Like the worst part is she walks up to her car, knocks on the window, and I'm like,
right. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
I'd have driven
she
off
walks
by
up
now.
And not even knocks, like does the little tap on the window, like
Yeah.
roll the window down, and I'd be like, no, bitch. This is what I'm talking about. I would straight up turn the car on and go, peace.
Right.
It was good knowing you.
There has to be conflict.
No, exactly.
Between teenagers.
So she rolls down the window and like, first of all, why?
Yeah.
And just like, who was that back there?
The only reason you should have done that was to deck her in the face.
Right. To give her one good slap.
Right.
With what little distance you could find in that car.
1-inch punch.
And she was like, you lost your chance to be cool back there. What happened? And she was like, I don't think, did she say anything? I forgot or did she just kind of like, I didn't feel like it or whatever?
I don't think she said anything, actually.
Yeah.
Memo goes, what's your damage, Tina?
Right. What's your MO, bitch?
Right.
But then she hits her with, I mean, callous.
Yeah.
This
car is a disgrace. You should get your dad to buy you a better one.
Buy you a new one.
And then she's like, wait, you can't.
And I was like, I'm sorry.
Bitch, you're dead.
You just went from like,
death for you right there.
Like it's you went from being like a little antagonizing
right
to like
I'm making fun of your dead parent.
You're being kind of violent now.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say violent. Violence
verbally violent, we'll say.
I guess
just asking for it.
That's what I should say. Instead of saying violent, that's not the proper term. You went from being like prodding and antagonizing
to vile,
to really asking to get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, in the best way possible. I don't care how long it's been. If someone's like, You really should get your dad. You really should get your dead dad to fix this. I'm sorry.
Wait, did I say dead?
Yeah. I didn't mean that. It's it's like when you're like that. It's like
no,
you're trying to be a bitch.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, ooh man. But anyways,
no remorse. You'll never learn. I could just kill you right now, and no one would bat an eye.
I just want you to know that no one would miss your crummy
of course
existence.
Not. Same goes for your two little side hussies there.
Yeah. Side hussies.
Fucking
I love it.
Vile little urchins.
Oh God, awful.
I can't watch shit like this, man. This is why I hate like drama shows.
I mean,
it hurts.
But the thing is, like, again, they end up leaving, and of course, Memo and Charlie had this great idea of like, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and TP her house.
Yeah.
We're gonna egg her car.
Revenge.
We're gonna teach our boy Bumblebee what it's like to get revenge.
See, they wouldn't. They're not like us. They're sane.
Yeah.
Go about this the normal way.
Yeah. Right.
Egging a car, TPing a house.
Right.
That's standard fare. That's about what you'd expect.
Right.
But me and you, no, we're
too far gone.
There's no beating around the bush. I don't feel.
No. Some people in life deserve to get popped in the mouth, and she's one of them.
Yeah.
In the nicest way possible.
Right. Maybe not kill. I'm willing to. I'm willing to overlook.
I think people can learn a lot from
first degree murdering.
I want you to know that people can learn a lot from picking their own teeth up off the ground.
Yeah. Like how to count.
Right, yeah. Or just how to not open their mouth when they don't need to.
Right. They're going to be a bit sore.
Okay, that was probably a bit heinous.
We're going to be on a list. Dude.
I'm just saying. If you're going to be that much of a butthole, sometimes, you're going to get what you're asking for.
You get what you give.
You get what you give. And if you're just giving shit, you're going to get shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is this is one of the moments where I feel like unintentionally Bumblebee is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think I think he also has a little bit of amnesia, and I
doesn't remember that he's like a straight up soldier.
Right. And I think he's trying his best to fit in. And like the only person he's ever had any kind of like physical or like relational contact with is this girl who's like an angsty teen.
Right.
And so like
he's like, fuck it, we ball.
Right, exactly.
They show him how TPing a house works.
Right.
He just ends up grabbing the whole container.
Well, he grabs one roll and then actually squeezes a little too hard and like, I mean, it vaporizes it. And he's like, oh, well, shit. Well, guess I'll just grab the whole thing and then and it's gotta achieve the same purpose and hucks it over the house.
Yeah.
And it kind of like falls apart and some falls on the tree and on the house or whatever.
Right.
And then I'm pretty sure Memo goes,
that works. Yeah.
That's not totally incorrect.
So then he breaks out plan B.
It's like, yeah. But wait. Here we go. We'll go ahead and egg the car.
Gonna egg the bitch's car.
Easy. You just grab one of these guys right here and you just chuck it and he flings it. Bam, on the back of the window. Perfect shot. He's like, yeah.
As they're like breaking it down in more understandable terms, or at least they try to, he just grabs both cartons.
He's like,
runs over to the car.
I got this.
Crushes them over the car and just starts like
smashing it on
marinating that shit.
Yeah, rubbing it in real good.
Yeah.
And of course they're like, that's kind of it's weird, but
he takes it a little further. He starts like hitting the car a bit.
Yeah.
And then he stomps on it.
He starts he starts like patting on it.
Right.
And kind of rubbing it in real good. He's like, he hits it one good time and then he just he curb stomps it. He goes, bam, and gets his foot stuck in the driver's seat, like the driver window roof area that he's like now concaved, and they're like, and he
just keeps going
too far, and he's like, hell yeah, hell yeah, and he's just
what you mean too much?
Yeah. He gets on top of it and starts jumping on it before he looks over, and they're like, yo, whoa,
the alarm's going off,
too far, dude.
Lights are starting to come on from the house.
slow down, and of course then they go and hide like underneath the curb, and they're like, dude, come over here, hide. Come over here, hide. And he's like, He just flips the car over like it's a waist high cover from Gears of War, and just crouches under it. He crouches and he's sitting like fetal position. He's like, yeah, sure, I'm hiding.
Right.
And they're like, dude, no,
get over
here. And he's like, oh, yeah.
And then they make their getaway.
He like turns into a car and he's like, I guess we got to get out of here. And they run into the car while it's moving and get in. And he like rounds the corner. And I'm like, dude, I love it because, again, he's not trying to be funny. It's just...
No, he just thought
he
that's
doesn't
what
get
the
it.
goal was.
He doesn't get it. He's like, they're like, hide. He's like, yeah, sure. And he like lifts up the car and hides. And he's like, yeah, gotcha. And they're like, no, bruh,
Right.
no. You have gone too far. And he's like, I'm sorry.
What do you mean? I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
You said we're going to hit the car. I hit the car. Was that not the plan?
Oh,
No, Bumblebee. No, it wasn't. Slow down.
it's perfect.
Yeah. Anyways, so it felt. I love that moment. That was really great.
Yeah.
And of course, they run away from the cops. And of course,
God.
another moment of like they're trying to say like stop. And of course, he's just like going hard. And you're like, bruh. I love the fact that like she's sitting in the car with her friend Memo that I'm pretty sure she's known for maybe 24 hours, like as a personal. And she's over here like, we're committing a felony. And it's like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
And anyways, because it's very true. Like the fact that you're just like in a car and you can't control the car and it's just going,
doing as it pleases.
It's running from the police, like driving off of a cliff, and you're just over here like, bruh, I'm just here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh man.
I love it. It's really great. There's like, and it's like also kind of in the middle of the film where we've got like a lot of serious stuff. There's been some emotional segments.
Yeah.
And to have this kind of like little bit of brevity in the middle. Feels really nice and kind of fun, and it adds to that lighthearted spirit of it a little bit.
Right.
So,
how do you feel about Shatter and Dropkick?
I like them as far as antagonists go.
Yeah.
I mean, again another like comedic element that like makes John Cena's character so funny is like the first time that we see Shatter and Dropkick, they're like driving down like this desert road, and of course
after they've
oh god
killed a random trucker,
they end up getting stopped by the military because they saw them like crash, and they kind of the second time we see John Cena, he's got this like scar on his face, and he's got the report that like another robot or a couple other robots have fallen down from like that previous time you were involved with the other one.
Right.
And so like he's like, we got to get a lock
Loads
on
up the
him.
Deagle.
I mean,
that he just has sitting on his desk.
Like, dude, I love it was so funny. I love the fact that gun is never referenced ever again in the film.
Let me just load up those little pea shooter here.
This guy walks in. He's like, what is his rank, lieutenant or
I don't know,
captain or whatever? He's like, you got to see this,
right?
Or I guess his agent, whatever. He's like, you got to see this, and he's like, so there's two more of them. He's like, yeah, confirmed they're landing. He's like, all right, and
here we go.
And he pulls out a Desert Eagle, loads the clip, and cocks it. And he's like, let's go. And it's like, bro, what?
Like, what are you gonna do?
You're
with
in
that?
your office. And it's like,
Why do you just have that?
Why do you just waving it around?
Is that your signature? Is that how you sign papers?
Right. So, anyways, like and that sets the precedent from then on.
Right.
And the next time we see him,
Action man.
the next time we see him, there's like Humvees all around, mini guns.
A modest blockade.
Just blocking the road. And of course, these two like
He's
muscle
got one
cars.
jet and one helicopter.
Exactly.
For some reason.
Just cause.
Right.
They end up pulling up and transforming. And of course, they're like, we have so many guns trained on your head. You do anything funny, we're not afraid to shoot. What is your business being here?
Now, before they say anything, they have this little back and forth like...
Oh, his name is Powell, I think is like the scientist guy.
Yeah, Dr. Powell. Oh, God.
I just love the fact that he is the...
First contact with an alien species.
Yeah. Wow, it's going to be great. And of course, John Cena's character is like, no. Any funny business and we're going to shoot.
We're dropping them.
We're dropping them. That is what it is.
No questions.
And it's like, you know what? In his defense, this is not their first contact. This is Powell's first contact.
Right.
The contact he's seen.
As a whole, this is third contact.
Exactly. And they have so far experimented. Oh, sorry, not experimented. Have what is the word I'm looking for? Has shown great force. So it's like the first and second contact we've seen has been detrimental.
Disastrous.
So if anything happens, no funny business.
Yeah. This is your third strike.
I just love that they referenced the same thing that I referenced.
Oh, yeah.
What is his name? Stryker? What is their names again?
Shatter and Dropkick.
Shatter and Dropkick.
Yeah.
Say that we are
Decepticon peacekeepers.
Decepticon peacekeepers looking for another one of our species gone rogue.
Right.
We're
An
trying to
Autobot
find it.
rebel.
Exactly. And then of course there's
just, as soon as he hears that, you gotta think like, oh, he hung on to that. And he's like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Decepticon.
Excuse me. That's what I said.
You're a fucking what?
And then of course like Powell intervenes and is like,
this could be the chance of a lifetime.
Right. He's like, they're talking about having their satellites and like being able to communicate with to
find this fugitive.
Exactly. And then, of course, Powell kind of like steps in and is like, yeah, we can work something out. We'll bring you to our superiors. They're at this table with superiors.
Yeah,
and, of course, the back and forth is like Powell's like, they could be a great ally to us or whatever. And he's like, dude, their names are Decepticons. Like, you can't.
That's a fucking red flag
that's a red
if I've ever heard one.
And I was like, dude, way to go. Way to reference that in the film.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody's using their brain.
And it was his character. Of all the characters, I'd be like, there's no way that Action Hero Man is going to be the one to go, maybe we shouldn't team up with these guys.
Yeah, on second thought,
right.
I don't know about these.
I just love that. There's even more moments where, the discussion, they're looking through the window and you see the reflection is like, let them get what they want, and then I'll give you permission to neutralize. And he's like,
experiment on them.
And then he's like,
break them down for scrap.
Right. What does he say? He says some Action Hero line as well, where he's like, "Aye, Captain," or whatever.
Yeah, some
or it's like,
along those lines.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Affirmative, Sergeant.
Jesus.
And it's like, okay, cool. I see what you're doing here. Anyways, what a great! I love this film. Even like the culmination at the end.
Oh yeah.
It's like I've said, the main character Charlie, I think they do a really good job of of also incorporating her family into the mix, and they have a couple of, I would say the actress who plays her, I can't remember her name, has a couple of monologues where she's like really just talking about her life and like her dad and stuff. And the actress does a really great job of conveying the emotion and the weight of the character, especially that one sequence with her mom after Bumblebee trashes the house accidentally.
Oh god!
Or he's like just trying to like look around. He's like, oh no.
Yeah.
And she like
that
has
whole
this
sequence was something else.
It's so great.
Fumbling through the house.
I know. But then even after that, when like you think that all's going
shit's hitting
wrong,
the fan.
Like her mom tries to like establish dominance in a way and like try to say like,
gotta break it down here.
You're not going anywhere.
I found you in our house that is now destroyed. I need you to tell me what the fuck happened.
Right. But then not only that, like the mom tries to manipulate the situation to be like, kind of tries to blame her for like more like the fact that like
everybody else is fine. What's your damage?
Exactly. And it's like, okay, mom, I'm not okay with the fact that you're just like,
behold my damage.
Exactly. And like really lays it out, but but in a very great way of like it really feels impactful. Like the daughter's been holding back saying that for a while. It's like, you may have moved on. I haven't. I'm not okay.
Right.
I haven't been okay. And I'm glad that you're okay. But just know that that's not how this works. And I'm not fine.
Yeah.
In just a few months, you'll have me out of your hair and that's fine. Goodbye. And like walks away and it's like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a couple great sequences like that where like, even though like I'm saying already, like I have said already that the humans in this film feel like the kind of comedic relief in a way.
They are bearable.
The mainline characters are really great. Even Memo, even like his kind of funny, quirky self. I think even him, he's funny as well. Yeah. A great character.
Dorcas. So how about that final little fight sequence, eh?
What a great final fight sequence.
It's pretty good, huh? They end up capturing Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And they've got Shatter and Dropkick interrogating him.
Yeah.
At which point they're not even like they've kept up the act well enough up to this point, but once they start finding out more and more, there's no beating around the bush. Like they're straight up just going to use your planet as a war zone, and just kill you all. Dr. Powell, friend Powell.
Yeah, right.
Upon hearing this, radios for John Cena. I can't get over that,
dude.
And he like gives him the rundown. It's like, man, these guys are gonna just they're going hog wild, bro. They're gonna blow us all up. And once they get everything they need, they liquefy.
Yes,
Dr. Powell. Sorry, Puddle Powell.
Oof.
And are on their merry way after they shoot Bee in the chest.
Yeah.
So now that they know, they're just going to send out a message to the rest of the Decepticons to mobilize for Earth. Now, Charlie and Memo are able to sneak out and make it to this base that they're holding Bumblebee in, and are able to bring him back from the cyber grave by way of electric guns.
Yeah. They hit him good.
Yeah. Weapon-grade defibrillators.
Right.
And after that, it's on.
Yeah.
The combat begins.
It's a great sequence.
Yeah.
There's even that moment where he kind of he goes rogue for a minute, and he just starts blasting the military guys. It feels really
another
good.
Iron Giant moment.
I had a funny moment because he's like trying to, whenever he, for lack of a better term, he gets rebooted by the electricity guns.
Right.
He kind of like, his memory is like
slowly coming back.
Right, and but even more of his memory is kind of coming back, I think, is what it feels like, because he feels more like a soldier now.
Oh yeah.
I think this like primal instinct kind of kicked in, but as well as that, I think that like more of his memory gets like rebooted back up or whatever.
Yeah.
But before that happens, these like little fragments of like who's important, I think, kind of kicks in, and he can tell that Charlie's in danger, and he like goes rogue. Eyes turn red, and he's just like he goes to blasting. And it's oh shit!
Remembers that he has a gun.
He woke up and chose violence, heavy. Yeah. He chose to be a menace, and it was working. He was just I mean, he turned his hand to that like laser cannon, just like just blowing shit up.
No
everywhere.
vehicle is safe.
Nah. And then of course Charlie's like, "Yo, slow down!
What's going on,
Everybody
bro?
Chill out." And then of course he like kind of comes to, and he's like, "Oh
yeah, I'm just a bumblebee.
Maybe I should slow down a little bit."
Right.
But yeah, so there's like a really touching moment where they kind of have a final discussion, and then he starts fighting. Dropkick. I keep forgetting his name. Man, what a way to go out,
dude!
Dropkick.
Oh my god, I love that they focused on like really nailing Bee's fighting style.
Yeah,
where he's just a real scrapping grappler.
Oh yeah,
like he's just throwing.
He fights dirty a couple times
every which way.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It's like a couple times he gets a few like punches on him and even towards other people, and they feel in this fight sequence specifically, it feels so weighty. Everything feels so heavy.
Heft.
But
after Dropkick turns into a chopper, Bee gets the bright idea to grab a chain and just wrangle that sucker back down to the ground.
Right.
And as he tries to get back into his robot form, the chains become like tangled up in all those bits and inner workings. Unbeknownst to him, this will prove fatal.
Yeah.
So he's just like, you take these little chains, and before he can even, before he finishes,
you think these chains can hold?
He just yanks real hard, and
he starts like
de-limbs the motherfucker.
What is it called? If like vivisecting his limbs, and then like slowly like cutting his core up or whatever, and then before you know it, his core is
there is nothing left.
Exploded, and his head flies off, and you're like, oh damn, he
dead,
like hard dead. There's like a soft dead where like you're just like, oh, you're just laying on the floor and dead,
right?
And then there's another,
your body is intact, but
hard
you're not
dead
there.
is like, nah, you're
gone.
You're
man.
gone. Bud.
You're a stain on the floor.
Yeah, you're a hunk of metal.
Yeah,
real
pile
hard.
of scrap.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course the honorable final sequence. Our main character gets to shut off the transmission just in the nick of time, and then of course
saves the day.
What was her name?
Shatter.
Shatter gets like, I mean, and there's such emotion in that moment, because the second that they end up like quote unquote losing is when like she kind of goes like a little crazy and just gets frustrated and starts kind of scrapping. She like throws him on the ground and just starts like wailing on his face or whatever. Just like getting pissed off that they, you know, it feels like you could feel the rage in that moment.
Curses.
Yeah, just and then of course he ends up like getting the upper hand on her, shooting this dam that's like closed off a bunch of water. Obviously,
it's about to be skewered.
Yeah,
she turns around like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah,
that's a shit ton of water.
You missed, and of course he doesn't say anything because he can't, and he's like,
I love that you had to specify.
Well, because at that point, like, we need to imagine like someone would like clarify what they're doing, but he doesn't say anything. He just like he shoots past her. He shoots past her, blows at the dam. A bunch of water comes down. He just like stands up and like headlocks her into place.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, "You idiot! You're
Check out this boat.
You're gonna kill both of us." And he just like,
it's like I don't fucking care.
Plants himself on the ground and then just like blasts her. And she's like, "Oh shit!"
Oh yeah.
And of course, I think the boat ends up hitting her against this like wall, and she explodes. And he dips under the water
to pieces.
And then to bring the movie full circle, our award-winning diver who hasn't dove in a while because her father was always there for her, and who stepped back from the edge of that cliff and didn't dive, took off her leather jacket like a badass, took a deep breath and jumped off of.
Finally sucks it up.
Right, and again, there's so much debris in this water.
Yeah, you want to talk about a leap in logic? That's
what did you say? What did you say? Like, what if she got head
she dives in and fucking domes herself on a piece of concrete that's just floating in there.
God, what an awful way to end a movie! Just like boom, and you're gone,
dead.
Main character dead.
Now,
just domes herself.
The best part about this is that Bee's just like chilling underwater. It's like, man, this is. Kind of pretty.
He's like floating down. And he's kind of like lays down for a second and just kind of lays
he's
there.
Just sitting there, and then Charlie swims over and is like, "Hey man, you got to get up." It's like, what the? I'm just taking a breather, man. I don't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Just what are you doing?
I'm fine. You're not. What are you doing?
It's insane.
Yeah. What a great conclusion to the film.
Yeah.
I like this movie a lot.
Very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. Very fun in a very unexpected way. I thought it was going to be kind of fun, at least a little bit. It's a Transformer movie.
Right.
I thought it was going to be serious mixed with fun.
Oh, man.
But like I wasn't expecting like that.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Well, because again, I didn't. First of all, at the top, I didn't know we were watching.
I
thought we were going to be watching like a shit movie, and I was like, bro, I'm buckled up now. I guess now we're gonna watch this movie, and then of course, like, oh, Bumblebee.
Well, it was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the design, and if I will say this, if what is it called? Primal War?
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars. If Transformer Beast Wars keeps that same like vibe as Bumblebee did, I'm kind of excited to see.
I hope it's good.
Even if
I got to see Megatron's new design, dude.
Yeah?
Holy shit.
Is it good?
It is.
Damn. So is this like a new canonical timeline, or is this a continuation of what we already seen?
Yeah, it's no.
I know obviously this. I think this precedes everything from the original Bayformers.
I hope
this may be
it's disconnected from that. I think it's its own thing right now.
Interesting.
Which I'm very happy about.
New timeline.
Yes.
That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Yes. Congratulations.
Sorry if the top of this episode was a little rusty.
Oh God.
It's been a while.
It's going to take a minute to get back into the swing of things.
We went on a vacation, for those of you who may or may not know, and it was nice.
Yes.
It was really good. We all enjoyed ourselves.
Much needed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Much needed indeed.
God.
You, me, and Mallory were all tired from work and much needed a vacation. So
I was overdue.
You were far overdue
for any kind of break, man.
Dude.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah. So just know that we took a little time off. I think we released one episode ahead, and so now we're no longer ahead, and I want to try and get back on a more ahead schedule. But it definitely feels like it's been 2 weeks since we recorded, because I feel a little out of the saddle right now. So anyways, if you're looking to find us or want to reach out to us, we have a link tree /Ian Wolf. Sorry. I got a hiccup. Sorry. or if you want to find us, you can go to any of the major podcasting platforms and type in The Aftermath, and you should be able to find us that way.
If you can't, too bad.
Right. If you go on, I think there's also, if you go onto your biggest satellite tower, and then
hook up a little Energon cube to
exactly. It will.
You'll receive a transmission from Optimus Prime, and it will link you to the podcast.
Right, directly.
I fucking wish that'd be so
yeah, that'd be really cool.
We gotta get in touch with Peter Cullen.
Right. Or another way to do it as well is if you turn your radio dial really fast, and then just pick a random channel. The probability of it landing on this show is very slim, but I heard it does happen.
Yeah.
But anyways, until next week, thank you so much for listening.
See you.
Bye-bye.